often your expectations are at least met
Yes.
or exceeded. I can honestly say this about Marcus and the guys at Hamilton Limo. They always exceed my expectations.
Wow, you know what? That's
There you
awesome.
go.
You know
There
what?
you
I know he listens to the show, so I'm sure he's going to be like, wow, you guys are really hamming it up.
It's true. I'm not just saying that. I've used the service for years.
You're not making it up.
That's been my experience. So there you go. Now you're broadcasting live? What are you
Man,
doing?
I got
You're
everything
Facebook
here. You know,
Live?
I got
Tell me
my.
what
I
you're doing
got.
here.
Okay. Jamie's looking at me with these weird.
What's going on here?
Okay, so what we've got so far, what I like to do with Bill is we're live on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're live on Facebook. I usually like to go live on Facebook on my accounts here. So we tend to, for those that can't get to a radio or they're sitting in an office, I do tend to get a lot of people that tend to and give a few comments over here as to where we are and what's going on. So I can see already we got a few people joining us, and we got Tan locally, so we get a lot of local, and we've even had
anybody yelling at us yet?
No, but we've actually had international watchers too. I got a past show. There's a gentleman named Adam Oldfield, and he owns an ad agency in Leeds in England called Force 24. So I'm giving him a quick shout out because he's watched a few times and he always comments on, hey, how's it going over there? And
have you seen a picture of him? Is he your doppelganger?
You know what? We've had a few jokes about how good looking I am, and it's unfortunate the Oldfield Gary, he's actually a great looking guy. So I always say, well, wow, man, obviously Oldfields are beautiful and handsome everywhere.
Your double is out there somewhere.
That's right,
That is super
exactly.
Cool. Hey, did you know this, Adam? I'm going to tell you something you probably didn't already know.
Yeah?
You can now ask Google Home to preheat your oven.
Yes.
If the dishes are clean, make hot water, or set the oven timer for 10 minutes. Did you know that?
I knew that. I don't know if anybody else knew this. You know what?
Is that what it's coming down to?
It's coming down to, you know what? It's phenomenal in how you're able to now connect these Google Homes, and you hear about Alexa and all these little devices, and they look like a little tube with a microphone on it. You can now run Spotify. You can run all of these musical, and they all control by your voice. Turn it up, turn it down. I mean, you can link it to your furnace, now your actual GE electronics. And yes, you can. This is the one that blows. I don't know how it knows this, but apparently Google Home is capable of knowing when the dishes are full and you need to wash the dishes.
So we are literally now in that era that you and I used to watch on Saturday mornings in the Jetsons.
Yeah.
This is really what's happening now.
Well, it is
space age is
It
happening.
is. It is space age. It is at a point where we as society, and I mean, some of the things we're going to talk about today they're literally off the charts when you talk about where we're going as a technology ingrained society we are. I mean, we're in it now. I mean, we're using Siri. I use Google now. I mean, you don't want to drive in text. We're talking about autonomous driving vehicles. We see so many things coming out. Tesla claims they're no longer an automobile company. They're a power company. They're an energy solution company. And you know what? We're A, on renewable energy. B, we're on technology moving at a faster pace. We're moving to 5G network. Now, I always say this. Many people hear 5G, 3G, 4G, 5G, LTE. What does it all mean?
XYZ.
XYZ, AT&T, 123, CHML. What are all these acronyms? So at the end, basically we're moving at a pace so much quicker when it comes to internet technology. Mm-hmm. It allows us to do more things, as in we're broadcasting live on net, we're on the air on CHML, and it allows us to now also integrate a lot more of our communications. And as an example, you've got a device in your house that's monitoring everything going on in your home. It is checking your dishes. It will control your stove. It will run the lights. It's checking the energy source. And of course, it can be run all by solar power.
That's all good. But is it, I don't know. Like, is there anything that there's going to be left for us to do if I don't have to even get up and heat my oven? I don't know. I guess this is good. It's convenient. Will it buy us time? I'm trying to figure out what the overall good is for society of all of this stuff. But I guess we've been asking that question since the cell phone was invented. Right?
You know what? It comes right down
to the telephone was invented.
Well, it comes down to things that you feel are inefficient in life. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Life is a much quicker pace right now. I mean, come on, we are literally in tune with what's going on in China, in Manchester, in seconds, not minutes, not at 6 o'clock news. Like, I mean, in the old days, you'd read about it in a newspaper a month later. Mm-hmm. Then it was from the radio radio, we'd hear it instantaneously, maybe the next day. Then it was followed now with the fact of 6 o'clock news when we got the chance to turn on the news. Here we are in instantaneous news environment where, when that Ariana Grande concert happened in Manchester,
it's all over social media first.
it was on social media. Everyone was watching it live. Everyone was broadcasting. Everyone's their own media outlet. So you take into a fact of, hey, listen, if I'm busy posting, commenting, referencing, when do I have time to know if I have to turn the oven on?
The younger generations of people that have grown up with technology as part of their education, as part of their lives, they obviously, I'm guessing, adapt much more quickly to this stuff. The older folks out there, we have a tougher time keeping up with it. We're much slower to get to the things that are actually, old, 2 or 3 years old. Like, we're always behind.
Yeah, well, the pace is getting faster. Like, originally it was like every 10 years was a generation that kept with the habit. Now it's there, and then I would say, according to my experience working with FPM marketing and our agency doing that side, I've seen a 5-year turnover. It's getting even shorter now into a 3-year. And what I mean by that is someone who is 5 years younger than you today is going to be migrating that adaptability into your lifestyle. So, as an example, my grandmother, she's in her 80s. Her computer was a Windows 7. She called me, had issues. I went and got her a new iMac and set it up. And we're talking about Skype and how she's going to be able to listen. And, she has a hard of hearing issue. And I coordinated a subtitle issue to it so she could actually see what's being written at the bottom and so forth. So you take a look at her age on Facebook and on Skype, and she didn't want it. She needs a computer to be able to talk to all of her grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
And did she embrace it? Was she panicked? Oh, no, I know what I know, and now this is gone. Now I've got to learn this new tool.
Right.
Obviously, you worked with her on that.
Of course, yes.
Was she happy?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I mean, at first it was, and even now with the new computer I got her, it was like, here's an iMac in front of her, and she says, and her comment is, I don't know how to call people, but when they call, I know I push the green button. And I always tell them I don't know how to hang up, but I know that I can see them, I can talk to them. So again, let's talk generation from each level. But, the level of future of where we're going with what we have on the market right now is that everyone who's going to be 3 years younger than us is bringing in technology that you and I will adapt to. So we are no longer, in my day, we used to do everything by handwritten notes and typewriter. No, we'll be like, hey, all right, the new Samsung's coming out, the iPhone 8 just arrived, let's go get it.
Yeah, iPhone 8. Do you want to touch on that
Other than the fact that it's stupid expensive and get ready for it, it's actually interesting what they're going to be coming up with. And is it going to be worth a lot of the extra gadgets they're referring to? You know what? I'm actually, to be straight with you, and again, Bill and I talk about the Apple Samsung. Folks, I am not an Android-only guy. I actually have a MacBook, an Apple iPad, and I have iMacs and other Apple products within my office and working environment. My mobile devices are Android. And the reason I go with Android for the primary reason of Google. And we can see why Google. Well, you know what? I mean, it's got such a foundation with regards to what it's able to do with its apps, all the capabilities of it, but it also comes with a bit of limitation. Apple is a little more non-susceptible to malware and viruses. Android is. I do enjoy, because I'm a power user when it comes to mobile devices, I tend to use all the features in a Samsung. So I see where Apple's iPhone 8 is coming into the market. I'm not really seeing anything that anyone's going to go, wow, this is truly revolutionary. It will be perfected. Again, remember, iPhones don't normally blow up. Samsungs do. So not that I want to blow them.
No, let's not have that out.
Yeah, let me keep all these puns under control here. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to be impressed with what it does. It's going to have a fingerprint scanner on the screen anywhere. It's not going to be so complicated. Again, that's what makes Apple great. It's extremely simple.
I'm excited to read here that I can order my next Ferrari, because I have 3 of them now. I can order my 4th through a vending machine.
A vending machine, yes. And this is becoming a new trend, and a big one too. It started in China, and this new product is actually capable of going in. I mean, you got to have an Amex Black Card, I think. But more or less, you go in and you can select up to 60 luxury vehicles, swipe your card, and watch the car come down a glass conveyor belt and it literally disperse your choice of vehicle. And I mean, these vehicles are $200,000, to $500,000. I don't know what it is in yen, but and anyway, it blew my mind, and I was like, it makes sense. In the States, there's actually a dealership in Missouri that has the same thing. It's a used car vending machine, so you could go in and buy your car, no sales rep applied. And by the way, the common theme today, folks, on Tech Talk is somehow jobs are disappearing. We're making it so efficient. So you know what?
We're getting rid of people.
We're getting rid of people. So your sales guys are gone. You don't need to worry about that. You can now don't worry about paying your children for doing chores, because you know what? They're going to tell you how to turn on the oven.
You'll be doing them anyway.
And so now we're talking
Get off my
about
lawn.
and you missed the last Tech Talk. You can get a lawnmower that cuts on its own, and you literally control it by an app. And it can avoid all obstacles, and it whippersnips too. It actually runs into the corner, and if it can't reach the corner, a little blade comes out of the outside of the lawnmower, and it whippersnips.
Okay.
So anyway, I give you sort of that. So yeah, new vending machines, new trend, and there's two in the world right now. One's a luxury car, one's a used car down in the States, but maybe that's something we may be seeing in the future.
All right, it's Tech Talk with Adam Oldfield, brought to you by Hamilton Limo. We're going to take a short break here on the Bill Kelly Show and come right back with more low energy Adam Oldfield when we come back here on AM 900 CHML.
News moves quickly.